I'm here to introduce Judi Moreillon. And Judi is going to read to us today from her most current work. Judi grew up right across the river from us in St. Louis. Testimony that people actually do come to our side of the river from St. Louis sometime. And now lives in Tucson, so she's come a long way today. She's a prolific writer and author of numerous professional books for librarians, reading professionals, as well as a number of books for children. She's long admired the life and work of Mother Jones, and she's here today to read an excerpt of her new work, Wherever There Is a Good Fight, an illustrated verse portrait of the extraordinary Mother Jones. I invite you to see her website, storytrail.com, for more information on her work and expertise. Welcome, Judi.
Thank you, Joanne, and thank you for everyone who's spoken today. It's very inspirational to hear about people's commitment to workers and to justice. And Gordon's, acknowledgement that he didn't know about the cemetery when he was growing up nearby is one of my motivations for writing this book. It was written for young adults so that they would know about Mary Harris, Mother Jones. I want to dedicate today's readings in honor and memory of my uncle, Harold Bush. He was a leader in the Graphic Arts International Union and lost his job when he refused to break the union at Ben Hoffman Press. I'd like to begin with a quote from Mother Jones. Someday, we will have the courage to rise up and strike back at these great giants of industry. And then we will see they weren't giants at all. They only seemed to be because we were on our knees and they towered over us. In the voice of Mother Jones, poem 51, A Good Fight Against Wrong. With a few possessions tied up in my shawl, I took to the road, looking like anyone's dear old mother, an unassuming disguise that belied the force of the power I carried in my voice. I never wrote down any of my speeches. They came directly from my heart. I never had to make up the stories I told. They came directly from the lives of workers. When I spoke, preached, and cussed, miners and their wives heard their fears, their hopes, their struggles reflected in the raw truth of my words. I agitated for New York shirtwaist workers, bottle washers in Milwaukee breweries, and copper miners in Butte, Montana, all the while collecting funds for striking workers. Should an old woman with my passion be confined to the home, the kitchen, the rocking chair? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. My address is like my shoes. It travels with me. I abide where there is a good fight against wrong. And as God is my witness, in those days there were so many wrongs perpetuated against my class, the working class. So many fights to be waged and won. I had testified before congressional hearings, and presidents listened to my opinions. McKinley, Roosevelt, Taft, Wilson, Harding, Coolidge. They were the rich. They were the powerful. But they were not my people. In 23, I went down to Mount Olive to attend the annual remembrance of the heroes of the Verdun Massacre. There in the Union Miners Cemetery, I found the place where I wanted to take my final rest, in the same clay that shelters the miners who gave up their lives on the hills of Verdun. to lie with brave Alexander General Bradley and the courageous boys who lost their lives would be the greatest honor of my life, for it was their bravery that gave me the armor of courage I put on whenever, wherever I bared my heart and soul for justice. Attended by her friend, Lillian Burgess, Mother Jones died in her sleep on November 30th, 1930. A funeral mass was held for her at St. Gabriel's Church in Washington, D.C. Then her body was taken by rail car to the Old Fellows Hall here in Mount Olive, where thousands filed past her open coffin. On December 7th, thousands more marched in her funeral procession and attended her funeral service here at Mount Olive's Ascension Church. When our mother died, we miners and our wives, factory workers, horseshoers, garment workers, tailors, grocery store clerks, union leaders, politicians, and even reporters, we came and we gathered in Mount Olive. We waved Union banners above mountains of flowers, and Verdun massacre survivors carried her casket into the hallowed hall where her body was to lie in state. When the time came for our final farewell, thousands more marched in a funeral procession, and a choir of miners sang at her mass. When Father McGuire dedicated this poem to her, we knew we would feel Mother's abiding, mothering spirit in every struggle yet to come. And because I am of the people, I understand the people. I am sorrowful with their sorrow. I am hungry with their desire. I speak to my people, and I speak for my people, in their name to the masters of my people. I say to my people that they are holy, that they are august despite their chains, that they are greater than those who hold them, and stronger and purer, that they have but need of courage and to call on the name of their God. In solidarity, we buried Mother in sacred soil alongside her boys, the martyrs laid to rest in the Union Miners Cemetery. Our eyes were wet, our hearts were heavy. We felt broken that day by the weight of the great loss of our mother who had spoken for us before we had voices of our own, who put her body on the line for us when we were too afraid to go alone. That day we knew we would feel her abiding spirit in every struggle yet to come. The Progressive Miners of America led the effort to establish this monument to Mother Jones. They raised more than $16,000 and purchased 80 tons of Minnesota pink granite to create the monument. On October 11th, 1936, the Sunday before Miners' Day, about 50,000 people visited Mount Olive to march in a parade and view the memorial as part of a day-long program of remembrance. Mrs. Lily Mae Burgess, who had attended Mother on her deathbed, was among those who spoke that day. Some walked, some hitchhiked. Others came on free buses and special trains. Thousands came from across the state. Some called it the grandest day Mount Olive had ever known. That Sunday, we paraded and gathered at the Union Miners Cemetery for a day-long program of political speeches in praise of the progressive mine workers of America, and to honor our fallen but not forgotten fellows. In this sacred place, unionists and politicians rededicated ourselves to fight for justice in the honor of our Joan of Arc of the coalfields, Mother Jones. While her benevolent face smiled down on us from this pink granite monument sparkling in the sun, we felt the heat and fire of our fraternal struggle. At the end of the day, the crowd hushed when Mrs. Burgess spoke to remind us that Mother had wanted to live yet another 100 years, to fight to the end that there would be no more machine guns and no more sobbing little children. We vowed that day to carry on her fight. And even those who were not there that long ago day still call it the grandest day Mount Olive has ever known. A letter to Mother Jones, October 12, 2025. Dear Mother, at protest marches and on picket lines across the decades, your powerful voice and commitment echo in the hearts of activists and send us out into the streets to stand up, to speak out, and to take action together. When we feel desperate while bailing water on a sinking ship, when the future looks as dark as the depths of the mines where your boys toiled, we use your example to shore up our lagging spirits, to give us strength and hope that when we could be drowning in despair. We carry your ideals, your strength in our hearts and our minds when we write, speak, march, and agitate for economic and social justice. We aim to protect children from exploitation by capitalists who would sentence them to work rather than free their bodies to learn. We aim to lift up all people and demand a show of respect for those who labor and gratitude for what they create. We aim to close the widening gap between the privileged who have and the growing numbers who have not. Mother, your life still shines like a beacon that illuminates our path wherever there's a good fight against wrong. In solidarity, your great-great-great-great grandchildren.